Okay, I am so excited. I'm so excited to make a YouTube video. What was I gonna talk about? Oh, like my birthday, like post-birthday. I'm gonna be honest, consistency is hard for me. Consistency is really hard. I struggle with it. Um, I saw a video on like I don't know. I'm typically really consistent unless I have like a leech vampire in my life. And that can come in the form of a person, and that can also come in the form of like an activity, I guess. So let's reflect on the leeches, okay? The leeches in my life. What are they? Well, I've been playing World of Warcraft for the past 20 days. Obsessively. Insanely. I've had a lot of fucking fun. But it's draining my energy. What's the other thing? The other thing is the internship. But I only have 10 days left of my World of Warcraft subscription. I don't know. Why did I do that? Like, why did I do that? I was like, let me buy a month. And then I ended up like crazy, insane playing. Why did I do that? Like, why? There was a reason. There was a reason why 20 days ago I decided to get World of Warcraft. Why? What was going on 20 days ago? It was the end of June. I really can't think of why. But World of Warcraft is not a game I play in moderation. So I'm like one level away from hitting level 30, which is a huge achievement because I play a hard version of the game where it's hard to get any levels. So maybe I get to 30 and then I call it quits. Huh. Because usually everything I do has intention, even the internship has intention. But the World of Warcraft, there's no intention. I have had so much fucking fun though, playing that game. But I don't like to play video games anymore unless I'm sharing them on the internet, you know? I saw this guy who makes World of Warcraft videos, like the same game I play, the same version of World of Warcraft, and he does streaming on YouTube, and he streams, I want to say, first person, so like his character is first person view. That's really cool to me. This man has like close to 400 subscribers, which is crazy. You just gotta be consistent and post your shit on the internet. Put yourself on the internet and be consistent. That's it. And if you got leeches in your life, figure out why you got them. Cut out the people, right? Did I talk yesterday about Marva, my neighbor? I set a boundary with her. She hasn't even talked to me since I told her no. Like, what the fuck? I don't like people that don't respond to boundaries well. They're so annoying. And she calls me like her grandson. And I want to talk about her, but my window's open. But you know what? Fuck it. What I want to think about is this woman. She's 73. She lives next to me. She's my next door neighbor. She has no teeth because she did not take good care of her teeth and she's been a smoker her whole life. That's the fucking truth. okay? And there's a woman in my apartment complex who's really helpful because she will be honest about Marva. Her name is Arlene. And there was a little bit of drama between these two. Arlene lived with Marva for a little bit before she got her own apartment. And they're both older women. And Arlene is really positive and has a beautiful space, is not a hoarder. Arlene doesn't call me her grandson. Arlene will make me things. Arlene will be nice, but Arlene is a fucking neighbor. It's nice to have a neighbor and not an obsessed grandma, okay? But I'm trying to learn from this relationship. So it's very complicated because Marva has called me her grandson, called me her son the whole time I've lived here. And I think there's some sort of like obsessive satisfaction she gets from it because, I mean, there's a picture of me on my... She will try to like claim my thriving success as an attribution to her as my mother. It's psychopathic. Like there's a picture of me in my house on a calendar because I was a professional model for a calendar. And she saw it and she was like, oh, my grandson, a cover boy. And I'm like, I'm not your fucking grandson. And this isn't yours. This is mine, bitch. Like, it's cool. It's awesome. But it has nothing to do with fucking you. It doesn't belong to you. And it's complicated because she's extremely codependent. So she has, her husband's just a perv. He's gross. I think he's kind of a disgusting person, personality-wise. He would like slap my ass sometimes, which is absolutely fucking unacceptable. He'd literally blow up in rage fits over the stupidest things. Like one time he'll blow up in the car over like, you're not driving the right way, and they're never wrong. Okay? You can never threaten this belief in their head that they're correct and they're right. And that's, to me, a sign of a stupid person. Because intelligent people understand how to wrap their mind around when they make a mistake or when they can grow or when they can improve. And a part of that is acknowledging when you're not right. And these people are stupid. They're dumb. And you can never threaten that. And so it's built this really interesting relationship for me where when I'm with them, I kind of, like, there was a time when Marva asked me to come over to her house, and she was like, I want to, like, and no, they would insult me too, and, like, be abusive and toxic. And one of the things she would do is she would say, like, you don't know how to cook. Oh my God, you don't know how to cook. Oh my God, you're such a fucking idiot, sort of thing. She would never call me a fucking idiot, but it was like insinuated that I was a fucking idiot because I can't do any of these things that are required of adulthood. And she would always like subconsciously put herself above me as far as like intelligence and professionalism and put me down in little ways to bring her fucking self up and feel better about herself in terms of like adulting things like, yeah, cooking, not cleaning, but cooking is the first one that comes to mind. And she would, you know, tell me about things or ask me about things, and if I had never heard about them, Instead of being like, oh, let me tell you about them, she would be like, oh my goodness, how have you been surviving without me? How have you been living without me? It's like, shut the fuck up, okay? Not everybody knows everything, and you're stupid for thinking that. And, you could be kind instead. And she's also extremely poor. It's interesting. This woman is so interesting, and I've lived next to her for 3 years. And she's extremely poor. She has very little money. She doesn't have a job. She's had this husband who is her only source of income. They're codependent on each other because Marva needs money from him. He is codependent on her because she cooks every day. She is his emotional outlet for blowing up and rage. I think I said he blew up over a laundry card one time, which is like, what the fuck? Grow up. She will do nice things and then expect you. She's very codependent, and like, kind of her mindset works in like, I do nice things for other people, so they can do nice things for me. And that is very, very toxically codependent, because people aren't obliged to do fucking anything for you, even if they're your parents. And at the end of the day, you need to be able to handle your fucking life and everything and all your needs by yourself. Sorry, wah, cry about it. I don't give a shit. That's the fucking truth. And I've done that. I live in my own apartment on my own. I built a fucking business to pay my fucking bills. I struggle, I cry, I have meltdowns. It's really hard. It would be easier with the help of other people, but at the end of the day, I have to take care of this shit by my fucking self. And part of how they met is like Marva thrust herself onto her husband. Not like, wow, they first immediately met, but it was just like they met through like work, and then she immediately attached to him and thrust herself on him. And they'll joke about how she RAPE him because she hadn't had sex for a long time, and they met when they were like 60 and 50-ish. And Marva's a pick-me girl, She doesn't know her fucking worth. I told her she got over 1,000 views on TikTok and people loved her, and she got like hundreds of likes and people really liked her. And she said, no, nobody likes me. Nobody likes me. I'm ugly. I'm worthless. Like, what the fuck, bitch? Shut the fuck up. And like, she'll wear things, she'll wear outfits, and I would just be like a beacon of light for her and say, this color looks really good with you, that looks really beautiful on you, this works really well. And she'll look at herself in the mirror and say, I'm fat, I'm ugly. And she's thin, she's very thin. And so to hear her call herself fat is fucking absurd. It's like anorexic, almost. And she has no teeth, so she can't eat very well or a lot. She has a bunch of health problems. Like she has well, I mean, not having teeth is already a huge health risk, but she has like her lungs are like black. And she came home and said, when I was a little girl, I drank a whole bottle of this cleaner, poisonous, toxic material, and it poisoned my lungs for my whole life. When I was 3 years old, I drank it, and that's why my lungs are black. Has nothing to do with being a lifelong smoker. Marva, wake the fuck up. And she would knock on my door and want me to sit outside on the patio and be with her because she's lonely. She's lonely and she wants company. I don't like bitches that get lonely, because they have this hollow part in their soul that can only be fixed with leeching on other people's energy. And I want to do my own thing and live my own life, and I don't want to be sitting here coddling your emotions like you're a little child. Girl, you're 73 years old. Grow up. It's time to grow up and stop being a little child. And she probably was never loved like that as a little kid, which is why she does that as an adult. But you, at some point in your life, you have to do the work to heal, or else you end up like Marva, 73, in a toxic marriage, living in a shitty apartment, not owning a house, no teeth, poor health, codependent, low self-worth. That's how you end up if you don't do the work to heal. On top of that, I really appreciate when she cooks for me. She's really talented as a cook, and she will also insult herself. She'll say, oh, I don't like it. This is not good. This cooking, I don't like it. I'm not happy with my work. And this woman also volunteers like fucking 30 hours a week for homeless people and stuff like that. She goes to like a food, this is not the life I want, And when I moved to this apartment, emotionally, energetically, I was Marva. I was a martyr. I was a giver. I would give every ounce of my being and expect nothing in return, and have such low self-esteem, and think I was worthless, and think nobody liked me, and be afraid to show up authentically, and thinks that I'm not good enough, and my standards for men are really low. Like, this was me as a 25-year-old, when I moved here, and we were basically energetic matches. And now I've done a bunch of fucking work, and I'm up here, and Marva's down here. And I'm better than her, because I've done the fucking healing work. To set boundaries with people, to say no to certain things, to push myself in a direction, to be consistent in certain ways. And she has not done any fucking work. She's in the same place I was when I moved here. And some of the plants we have, they haven't been nurtured. I know I've been a gift to her. I know I have probably been the most fucking godsend, angelic thing that she's had as a neighbor in her entire life. And I don't feel comfortable. Like, I sang in front of her, and I could feel my chakras get all fucked up, because I don't know, she has this way of like tense, and singing requires all of your chakras to be aligned, and for you not give a flying fuck about other people and how they perceive your voice. You just need to fucking belt and sing it exactly how it resonates, from the bottom through, all the way through all the chakras. That's how you have to sing. And energetically, when I'm around her, she fucks my chakras up. I just don't like the codependency. They don't have a car either. So the amount of times they've asked me to drive them places, I'm happy to. And they always pay me to drive them, which is really nice, really helpful, because I've struggled with money while I've lived here. But she's not it. Her life is not what I want. She'll tell me, don't be greedy. Okay, Marva, but you are fucking poor at 73. Locked in codependency. With no money and no job and no home. Maybe you should have been a little bit more greedy in life, bitch. Sorry. Maybe that would have served you better. Because you have gone so far to the opposite of greedy that you are so far in the hole and so far struggling. And I don't want that. And the solution isn't to don't be greedy or don't be a martyr. The solution is to be balanced so that you have self-worth and get fucking paid for your work and what you do and know you're worth that, you know? And Marva doesn't. And she hoards stuff. She hoards like toilet paper rolls. Empty toilet paper rolls. She says she's gonna use it for cornucopia, which is like volunteering for homeless people. And she likes to help the homeless people. She spends a lot of time helping homeless people. But she doesn't get paid. It's volunteer. And she brings all these crafts and stuff for the homeless people to make crafts. It's either homeless or disabled people, I don't know. I think it might be a little bit of both. But, like, homeless people should not be doing crafts. They should be applying for jobs and getting a fucking income to get off the fucking streets. They should be in rehab to rehabilitate drug addiction. You know, that's what they fucking should have. And arts and crafts is a part of that sometimes, but when it's not encompassed with the other things that actually tangibly fix their situation, arts and crafts are not going to make any difference or dent towards fixing your situation of homelessness. It's even going to be a detriment because you're wasting time doing something that isn't getting you money, getting you income, helping you manage your money in a responsible way so you're not blowing it on drugs or whatever. That stuff will tangibly and physically get you out of homelessness. And I know this, and I can say that shit because I have been homeless, bitch, living in my fucking car, having nowhere to go, living, you know, however I can. I've never had to live on the street, thank God, you know, but I don't think there's like a hierarchy of homelessness. Some people have a car, some people do not. Some people are in really bad situations of homelessness. Some people are not. I consider homeless people to be anyone who does not have a place to live, who cannot afford a place to live, a roof over their head, for whatever reason. They have to live out of their car, they have to couch surf, they have to find a random person who will let them live in their home for whatever reason and be a squatter. I think squatters are homeless people, kind of. But yeah, building your way out of that requires all your time and energy being put towards getting fucking rich, getting money. Stop giving, and start getting. And that's how you get out. And then once you're out, if you have a generous heart, you can. But if you have no fucking money, you can't give anything. You can give time, but that time would be better served making money so you can get richer, so that you have an abundance of money, and that money that you have an abundance of meets your needs, and the extra can be given to the people that you want to give to, like homeless people. But at the end of the day, they need to learn how to earn money, or else they're just going to constantly be leeches and vampires instead of knowing their own potential and rising to it. So, yeah. I have an interesting perspective on homeless people because I have been at that low place for literally longer than numerous amounts of people. There's homeless people that have beaten me, you know, outdone me, been on the streets for 20 years, you know, but I lived in poverty for over a decade. I was homeless for a lot of that period, and I've clawed my way out of it. And so, if you want to listen to people who have never been there, or people who have never clawed their way out of homelessness to being financially more stable, and I want to be really, really fucking rich, like, go ahead and look at someone else. But if you want someone who has risen from extreme poverty, from nothing, listen to what I have to fucking say. Because there's merit, because I've actually fucking done it, you know? And I'm continuing to do it. And I have setbacks like this where I don't spend my time wisely, and I'm spending 20 days playing World of Warcraft instead of pushing my visions and pushing my dreams and stuff like that. But you know what? You have some grace with yourself, you have some compassion, and you keep moving forward. And that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do tomorrow, is I'll get up tomorrow, get a little bit of food. My mom is such a blessing to me. Not everybody who has struggled has people in their lives that help them. And my mom is not as much of a martyr as Marva, not by a long shot, but my mom, for her children, she would do anything, she would give anything to make sure her children are okay. My dad, not so much. My dad, there would be a line where my dad would be like, oh, that's too much. Bye. Ooh. You know. And that's how most dads are, you know. But mothers have an innate, just deep feeling of unconditional love that can warp into martyrdom. That is just about, I will do and give anything for my child, even if it hurts me. And I am so fucking lucky. I had a tumultuous relationship with both my parents, and I've healed both of those. You know, I now love my dad. I now talk to my dad all the time. I have a great relationship with my dad. I have a great relationship with my mom. I have a great relationship with my brother. I was in no contact with my brother. I was in no contact with my dad for like 5 years. You know? I love myself. I love my story. I love the path that I carved. It's amazing. And I'm very fucking lucky. And I think even people who are worse off than me, when you find the things in your life to have gratitude for and to be grateful for, it multiplies. That multiplies. It doesn't matter if it's a person, random stranger, giving you money on the street. Doesn't matter if it's some random happenstance thing that makes your life a little bit easier in the moment. Even if it's fleeting, having gratitude for those things multiplies them. My mom has helped me so much. She gave me $100 for my birthday, which was Saturday, just to take myself out to dinner. Like, that is so fucking wonderful. I have a neighbor, I told her it was my birthday on Saturday. She dropped by my apartment. Her name's Shanna, and she's incredible. And she dropped my apartment with like a bag full of all of this wonderful fucking stuff. Perfume, face exfoliant, like a moisturizer, like a candy, like gifts, a gift card, not a gift card, but like a card that says happy birthday. Oh, fucking amazing. And she's just a neighbor. Like, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. I have clients that hire me regularly, that love the work I do, that I clean for. I'm so fucking grateful. Like, genuinely. My clients that I've accrued have paid for so much of my stuff to help keep me going. You know, like, I'm so fucking grateful. And when you're grateful, it multiplies. And a lot of homeless people and poor people not only live in scarcity and fear, and they're afraid all the time, and they're like, oh, well, I got $10, but it'll go away by tomorrow, and I won't have anything, and I'll just be poor again next week, you know. If that works for you, and when something good happens, they'll say, oh, but this is just not really that great, and it's not enough, and it's not good enough, and it's, you know, not even close to what I need, blah, blah, blah. Like all of this negative, pessimism, complaining is a big thing for poor people, and scarcity and homeless people. Lots of complaining. The people that get out of homelessness are the people that don't complain. And you have to complain because there's a lot to complain about. You would literally suffocate yourself trying to be positive all the time. You have to be realistic, and being realistic is looking at how shitty shit is, how shitty stuff is when you're poor and homeless. Being honest. But clawing your way out of it requires work, acknowledging and complaining in the right circumstance to release that, but then also being grateful, being positive, looking on the bright side, finding a way out, building opportunities that will get you out. And I'm not gonna lie, intersectionality is a big part of this. You have a mental illness, it's gonna be harder. You're a person of color, it's gonna be harder. You're a queer person, it's gonna be harder. You have a physical disability, it's gonna be harder. You don't come from a wealthy family, well, if you did come from a wealthy family, you probably wouldn't be in homelessness, you know. So intersectionality does have a play. It adds layers of difficulty, and that's fucking valid. But at the end of the day, what I've said is true. You have to put in hard work. You have to be optimistic, have gratitude. It will multiply your blessings. When someone gives you something, be really grateful for them. Be really thankful for them. Your energy is your currency. You know, the reason I get hired as a cleaner, I mean, sure, anybody could do what I do. Anybody. Literally. You don't need an LLC. You don't need anything. You could buy a vacuum for $60, buy some Lysol, buy some paper towels, $100 investment. Start asking people if they want it. Make a fucking cardboard sign. We'll clean your house. Put on the cardboard sign. Bedrooms, $35. I'm homeless. I'm trying to survive. Clean your house. $35 for a bedroom. $45 for a kitchen. Help me. People will fucking jump on that shit. And when they do, you're gonna be so fucking grateful for them. You're gonna thank them. You could even get some fucking sheets of paper, okay? Thank you so much. Write that. Give it to them. Everybody that hires you. You will pull your way out. There's a million ways to make money. You just have to believe. You have to know that all you have to do is ask people for money and give them something as a product or a service in return. That's it. I find services a bit easier if you're homeless because you've got a lot of time And creating good products is tricky. Has to be something someone needs, you know? Because a lot of homeless people can't get jobs for whatever reason. But even getting a regular steady job is a huge, huge boon. I struggled a lot holding down regular jobs because I'm autistic. So working for people works a lot better for me. But yeah, Marva is the frequency of poverty and scarcity and low self-worth. And it don't resonate with me no more. I want my friend Jasper to come visit in September. I really do. He's one of my best friends. I really do. I don't know if I'm gonna live in New Mexico. I definitely don't think I'm gonna live here another year. So it's my last year here. And I want him to visit in particular. And maybe my best friend Lupe, if she wants to. But definitely Jasper. I love my friend Jasper. I love him so much. I talked to him today on the phone, and I feel so lucky for the friends I have. I don't have a lot. Like, I would say literally I can count them on one hand, bitch. One hand. I will consider people like an acquaintance or, you know, maybe somebody I know on social media, but actual friends, I don't have many. And I think friends have a big influence on your emotions and your energy. And the moment, let me tell you a little bit about my friends because I adore them. My friend Lupe, like my best friends, oh, it's unbelievable. I've never had like huge, ginormous issues with anything with them. And I fucking love them. And I think they're absolutely extraordinary. I had a falling out with a friend, which is a big thing for me, this winter. And what happened was she picked me up from the airport. Her mom picked me up from the airport. And we had arranged to go out and go dancing. And I had never done that with this friend before. So I think maybe she was a bit anxious. But we were going to go out, go dancing. She had invited another girl along named Caitlin, who was really weird. Her energy was like gray. Her energy was like gray and insecure. And her mom's energy was like weird and insecure too. But my friend's name is Leilani or Sydney. And yeah, these girls that she was with and her mom was not the same energy as Sydney at all. Like Sydney's energy is like colorful, vivacious, energizing, organized, badass, you know, professional, rich, abundant energy. And I'm not saying her mom wasn't that, but her mom is like a little bit of a notch down from her. It was not the same vibe as the Sydney Leilani that I know. And Caitlin, this girl she was spending time with, I had just met, but was not energetically the same level as her either. And I got picked up from the airport, and the plan was to go to my friend Lupe's house and drink a little bit, and then take an Uber downtown, and then take an Uber back. That was like the structured plan. And when we were in the car, Leilani was just saying, do you want us to meet you downtown with Lupe? Or do you want us to go with you to Lupe's? And it was kind of like questions, but it was questions that were meant to be communicating what she wanted to do and what Caitlin wanted to do. And Caitlin wanted to not be in Lupe's house because it's a stranger. You know, you might be nervous to go in a stranger's house and drink, and meet strangers and dance with strangers. It's a lot, you know, to be vulnerable with strangers, to consume substances with strangers. It's hard. It's difficult. It's scary. It's not something you want to do if you're introverted, and nervous and kind of insecure, which is what Caitlin's vibe seemed like insecure and nervous and kind of gray energy. And it's also scary to meet someone for the first time. And I have such high adoration for Lupe, and I have such high adoration for Sydney, Leilani, and they're the same person, Sydney / Leilani. And I felt like Leilani might have felt a little jealous because Lupe is my Katara and I'm Aang. And that was the dynamic I kind of had with Leilani too, of she is my Katara too. And they're both Indigenous women of color. They're both sensitive. Lupe is very pretty. Leilani's very pretty. Lupe is a bit more like Taurus. Leilani's a bit more spiritual, Hawaiian and Leo. And I think maybe the fact that it was the first time them meeting, Lupe doesn't have an ounce of insecurity in her being. As far as when it comes to other women in my life, or other girls who are friends in my life. But I think Leilani did from Lupe. And the way I deal with jealousy as a person, because I get jealous, is when I see someone and I'm jealous of them or I'm jealous of something, right? Like let's say I'm dating a guy and he's interested in some other boy and I feel jealousy. Jealousy is an indicator. You can't be jealous of something you don't want. If you are jealous, you desire that. So instead of being jealous, because jealous is the recognition of that person has something, I don't have something. And we can warp into, that means I'm not worthy of it. I hate that person because they have it and I don't have it. And I'm not worthy and, I just hate them. Shut up, okay? You're given a gift right now. You're given a gift from God. God's telling you, this is something you desire. This is something you want. Guess what? You can have it. You can fucking have it. So jealousy is a clue. Use jealousy, look at it and say, that's for me. When I'm jealous of someone, when someone has a lot of money or like a Lamborghini, please, not a Lamborghini, but a car that I might want, I look at that and I say, that's for me. That's for me. Those 3 words. I learned this from a multimillionaire, Tiffany Carter. She has one of the best podcasts in the world. And she talks about this. When you're jealous of something, say, that's for me. When someone has a beautiful fucking body, that's for me. When someone has a healthy, amazing relationship, instead of being jealous, that's for me. When your boyfriend is interested in someone else and giving them all time and energy and attention, you say, that's for me. That's what I want. I wanted that from this guy, but if he's not giving it to me, maybe I need to cut him out, kick him out, and just be on myself and attract a person who's going to give me that sort of obsessed energy and that loved adoration that he's giving to that other girl. I want that. But if he's gonna choose her, like, bye, you're not my man, because my man's gonna be obsessed with me the way you're obsessed with that girl. So have fun, And I'm gonna attract a man that is for me. That's how you deal with jealousy. And anyway, I had a falling out because I think the jealousy, but there was miscommunication. They wanted to meet us downtown. They wanted to not go into Lupe's house. They wanted to not like, they just wanted to meet us downtown and have their own plan of how the night was gonna go. And I am so fucking fine with that. Like, I never, even if we planned forever, never, up until the day of how things are gonna go, and then the day arrives and you change your mind, I am absolutely fucking okay with that, especially if I love you. I may express, like, okay, this isn't what we planned on. This is a little bit taxing because now we have to readjust the whole plan on the spot and, use a lot of energy in order to readjust how the plan is going to work so that it fits what you now want to do. That's different, and that's okay, but it's a little inconvenient, and I do want to communicate that so that next time you can let me know sooner that you want to change the plan and not right when it's happening, and we don't have to invest so much energy into re-scripting the whole way everything's gonna go. But I'm also autistic, so I like my plans. I like things to go the way I plan them to go. I'm a planner, but I understand people who like spontaneity and who like to go back on the plans and change the plans and, adapt, and I'm okay with that, and I can work with people like that. But it's not what I prefer, and it stresses me out. And that's how I responded to her. It's like, no. The way I responded, because I got out of the car and she basically said, like, we're going to go downtown. We're going to meet you downtown. We're not going to go into Lupe's house. And this is final. It's not negotiable. And I think for her, she's very much like a people pleaser and a little bit of a, very much like a unity person and not like a independent, like, I'm going to assert myself. And asserting herself is really scary and makes her feel shooketh, which is how it is for a lot of women, I think. And she just asserted for herself, and I was completely okay with it. And I could have just said, that's totally fine. I want to support you. I love you. And it's great. And blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really say that. What I said was, this works. This is completely okay for me. And don't beat around the bush. Like, communicate to me what you want, how you want it, when you want it. And part of the problem is she's Hawaiian and she's Japanese, and those cultures are, there's a term for it, but they are basically like nuanced. So you're supposed to know the social rules. You're supposed to read the room. You're supposed to understand the social rules that are not spoken and follow them and be kind and be respectful of others. Like, you walk in the room, you take off your shoes in a Japanese culture. And if you don't do that, the mother will like look at you with like eyes of death. And you'll be like, what's going on? And the problem is, I'm autistic, bitch. I'm gonna walk in your house, leave my fucking shoes on, walk around, la la la, dance around, be all crazy, and be autistic, and I drive the Japanese people fucking through the roof insane, okay? When I went to Japan, oh my God, it was a nightmare. But also, girl, like, I'm doing my best, okay? I'm doing my fucking best. Okay, there I was trying to bow. I bowed to everybody. Everybody I saw somebody, I bowed. Okay, I learned that like 2 days in, you're supposed to bow. You're not supposed to shake their hands. So I started just bowing to everybody. And then all these ladies are laughing at me because I'm bowing. And I'm like, I thought this was what I was supposed to do. Like, I don't know the rules. I'm trying to learn the script, okay? I'm autistic. Okay? Social rules is like my weakest skill. Personality and social rules. Okay, weakest skill. I'm autistic. Okay, girl. So it kind of really, really upset her that I told her, just be direct with me. tell me sooner when you have a problem. Don't, wait until we're at Lupe's house to communicate what you want. You can always tell me what you want. You don't have to suggest what you want. You don't have to suggest through a question of what you want. And I think it's just a fundamental thing about how she is and culturally how she was raised. So it's just like a core value beating with my core value of clarity and honesty, because my mom is very direct. She will, we even had neighbors that were Japanese as a little kid, and there was a moment, this is an anecdote to tell you about my mother and how I was raised. Like, there was a moment where it was Winnie and my mom and the two kids. The Asian child was Sarah and me. So Sarah and me were there. And Winnie, Sarah's mom, was trying to get a t-shirt on her daughter. She was like, Sarah, let's talk and discuss your feelings, and let's talk about how to get the t-shirt on. And Sarah was like, I don't want to put the t-shirt on. I don't want to put the t-shirt on. And her mom was like, let's just express and talk about how we're going to get the t-shirt on. And you know what? It's okay. Let's move through this emotion. And my mom comes over and like, motherfucker. She's like, Sarah, you're putting the t-shirt on. Get the t-shirt on. And now get out there and play. Okay. My mom does not have the patience for this sort of shit. And my mom has always been this like assertive, communicative, direct person. And there's not a lot of nuance. And there's no beating around the bush. And the same with my dad. My dad's very direct too. And so it's just like a clash, I think, of cultural upbringings, which is not bad. Neither one is correct or incorrect. They're different. And learning how to cooperate and work with people who are different is part of being a grown-up adult. And it's something I try to do in a kind way. But yeah, that created a whole thing where I triggered Leilani. And what that means is when you trigger someone, it sends a rise through their nervous system. And I am very familiar with triggers because I had PTSD for a long time. Even now I'll get triggers from my PTSD, but I know how to respond to my triggers instead of react. And the way you can tell someone's triggered and experiencing a nervous system flare of a trauma or a trigger from maybe PTSD or maybe just in general of being activated in their nervous system is they will send an exponentially, the reaction to what happened is exponentially disproportionate to the actual offense itself. And so let's say someone says like 5 words and then the other person blows up with like 15 paragraphs or sends pages of texts. That person's triggered. They're triggered as fuck. And in the moment, they feel like they're doing the right thing, and they're just like telling this person off and blah, 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 and telling them how it is, and how dare you not know, and how dare you, blah, 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 blah. But you're triggered. You're reacting. And you're in a nervous system flare-up trigger, and you are reacting to it. And you're usually unraveling a relationship a little bit, destroying it a little bit, because you're not just chill and working through things in a logical way. You're just completely emotional and irrational. And that's what happened with Leilani is she, and I understand triggers and I know how they feel and I'm kind with them. So when I respond to a message, I respond to a triggered message. And Leilani sent like a blown up text of like, it was attempted, and it's always attempted to be kind if a person's kind, but it's triggered still and it's reactive. And she called me like a narcissist and a selfish person and a terrible person and, all this crazy stuff. And she said she's been harboring these feelings since the day we met, and I had never had this conversation with her. It was the first time I was hearing this, where she was saying I was narcissistic and didn't care about other people and was just selfish and rude, and she's always felt this way about me, and it was really hurtful too. Like, really hurtful. That's not what you say to someone you care about and someone you love. And even if I'm triggered, I'm trying to be careful with what I say, because I've said things that people have never forgotten. And I've said things that are so hurtful to people. And I know those words stick. Your words are spells. Children will listen. People will listen to the words you say. Careful the things you say. Children will listen. So, yeah, she sent a crazy text. I took about 3 to 4 days to let the text be before I responded. I'm pretty sure I was blocked by this point, but I basically left something really kind that said, you know what? It's okay. I respect your decision to end this friendship. I care about you. I love you. I would never want to intentionally hurt you. I'm sorry you felt like you couldn't come forward sooner with expressing how you felt about me, thinking I was a terrible person, and I never want to show up that way with people that I consider my friends, and I don't have very many friends. So that was a falling out. That was a big deal because, like I said, my friends can be counted on one hand, so losing one is like losing a big part of my life. And I lost her in the winter, and she just was like, I'm never going to talk to you again, and you're a horrible person. Just mean stuff, horrible stuff. And I sent a text that was just mature and kind, and I tried to edit to make sure there was nothing in it that was just reactive or unnecessary or mean, and just let her have the freedom to end a relationship if she wants to. And you know what? I never gaslight people. If they tell me I'm a narcissist, I tell them if that's your truth and that's your experience, that's okay, and I honor that. And I don't want to be a person who's solely narcissistically focused on himself. I understand the importance, especially having been a people pleaser and a martyr for so long, of having a spine and standing your ground and wanting more and wanting money and wanting better for yourself. And I can understand how people can interpret that as narcissistic if they don't see the whole picture of who I am. But I don't usually even say that when someone calls me narcissistic. I just say, this isn't how I want to be. And I understand my behavior can look narcissistic sometimes. And I don't want to hurt anyone I love. And I care about the people that matter to me. And I'm sorry that I hurt you, you know? I think that's the best way to handle being called a narcissist. Like, I don't want you to have that experience with me. And this is true. I'm a narcissist. If it's true for you, it's true for me. And I'm gonna meet you there. And a narcissist would never fucking do that. They'd be like, you're crazy. You're overreacting. I'm not narcissistic. I'm such a good person. I do so much nice stuff for you. You're ungrateful. That's how a narcissist acts. Narcissists would never say, I am a narcissist. And let's work together to look at what I've done and how it made you feel, and how I can change to be a better fucking person, to make this relationship work. And that's what I try to say. That's what I try to say. But back to Jasper, okay? I love Jasper. Why? Jasper is gorgeous. Jasper is beautiful. Jasper is loving. Jasper is kind. Jasper has a beautiful smile. Jasper has a beautiful soul. Jasper has the most beautiful soul I've ever fucking known. Okay? I met Jasper because I was barista and he was a regular at this coffee shop. And I could tell right away he was a gay boy. I could tell right away I was gonna like him as a person. I love Jasper. He's kind. He's genuine. He's energizing to be around. He's uplifting. He's a perfect person. I don't think I should say that. That's not great. That's toxic. Okay, he's not perfect. He has his faults. He has his faults. What is his faults? It's time to roast Jasper. What are we gonna roast Jasper for? Jasper, what are we gonna roast Jasper for? I honestly can't think of anything. I can't think of anything. We can't let the good qualities go to his head though. We've got to roast him for something. Jasper, what are we roasting Jasper for? God, it's so hard. He's too tall. No wait, is that an insult? I think so. He's not like 6 feet tall, but he's too tall. Okay? It's disgusting. Okay? I love him. He's such a great friend. He's always been a great friend. I feel so lucky. I truly feel like he is like a lifelong friend, like a soul friend. Like I'm so fucking lucky. I made maybe a small handful of friends in Central Oregon when I lived in Central Oregon, and Jasper was one of them, and Jasper is literally the only one that I take with me and have kept with me since leaving, because he is that much of a fucking gem to me. He is. He's so good. And I love to talk to him, and I love to spend time with him, and I love to do activities with him. And he thinks I'm very, very hot and very, very attractive and very, very beautiful. And I love to be around people that think that of me. Because I've been around people that are like either like vindictive or jealous, or, you know, think I'm ugly or think I'm a bad person, and you just completely get warped when you spend too much time around people like that. And Jasper just thinks so positive of me, and it's such a blessing. And Jasper, what else do I like about him? I like that he's just an honest person. He's honest. I think he's probably the most honest person I've ever met. I think he's a kind person. He's been through a lot of crazy stuff in his life, and he still is kind. He will treat everyone, every single person, with the same amount of like dignity and respect. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what you have, doesn't matter who you are. He treats everyone the same, and I love that, because that's how I try to be too. Yeah, he's cool. He's an incredible, cool person. And what I like about him too is like, I've never been his friend for anything other than who he is. And that's so sustainable in a friendship. It's like, it has nothing to do with anything else but who you are. And the same can be said for Lupe. The same could be said for Leilani. I loved who she was. And is probably still. But Lupe is incredible too. Lupe makes me feel like I can be myself. Lupe makes me feel safe. Lupe is the Taurus I need. I can't remember off the top of my head Jasper's zodiac. Let me think through. He's not a Leo. God, no. He's not a Sagittarius. He's not an Aries. He's not a fire sign. Oh, he's an Aquarius. He's an Aquarius. Yeah, we need those fixed signs. The Taurus, the Aquarius, we need them. And Lupe is like more in reality than me. And I need that girl because I'm in delusional la la land sometimes and I get myself in trouble. But anyway, I need to get going. I need to eat some food. I'm really hungry right now. I want to eat some ramen. That sounds so good. And you know what? My internship's almost over. Literally, like 3 weeks. I need to get to level 30 in World of Warcraft so I can stop obsessively playing the game, and I need to come back to everything that I was doing consistently that was building the life and the person that I want to be. And I need to stop sabotaging my life with World of Warcraft and what's the other thing? What else? I was going to a lot of parties. Don't need to do that. Only reason I want to go to a party is if I'm getting paid to show up. I look too good to be at a party with glitter and no clothes and not be getting paid. Hello. I am too uplifting to be around, to be at your party for free. Period. Okay. I don't need to be going to any parties for free. The only reason I went to these parties is because there was free food, okay? Free food, free pool, free all sorts of cool things, okay? And I consider that payment, okay? This is your offering to me in order to have my presence. But I don't bring stuff. I brought stuff like one time, but then, you know what? I'm bringing my presence, okay? My presence is the gift. I don't need to be bringing no alcohol, no cake, no nothing. I just need to be bringing my presence, and that's the gift. And you're going to feel my presence. You're going to be in my presence. You're going to realize this is the gift. He doesn't need to bring nothing. He doesn't need to pay for nothing. He's just existing and arrived. And that is the gift. Okay. But I need to stop giving my energy away to things that aren't reinvested back to me, basically. And that can be in the form of money, can also be in the form of playing video games that I post into YouTube videos and editing those videos and sharing them with people online so it can build connection, which is what I want. Like that's the whole reason I play video games, is to connect with people. And if I'm not playing video games to connect with people, preferably I like to do that through YouTube, then what the fuck am I doing? Numbing myself, checking out, just having fun? I mean, who doesn't like to play Animal Crossing for 12 hours, you know? Or play whatever game you like for 6 hours of the day? It's fun. But I think video games, just for the sake of video games, is siphoning your energy away from where it should be going, which is towards yourself and your dreams and your visions. And if you really love video games, turn it into something that you can share with other people and connect other people with. Because that's what video games are all about, is connecting people online. And you never know, maybe somebody's looking for somebody like you and the content you make. They probably are. There's 10 billion people in the world. There was 7 billion people when I was born, and there's 10 billion now. That's like insane. That's like 50% more people than when I was born, and I was not born that long ago. Okay? Do you know how many people that is? A lot. That means there's a lot of people, and of those a lot of people, they're all looking for something specific. And you're probably on somebody's fucking list. Okay? They'll never fucking find you if you're never fucking out there. So get out there. Okay? Not everyone's looking for Ariana Grande. I'm looking for Ariana Grande. I love Ariana Grande. But some people are looking for some small little bougie indie artist who has 200 views. They'll never find you if you're not putting your fucking shit out there. Put it out there. Okay? I'm not your audience. I'm Ariana Grande. Sorry. She's what I'm looking for. Anyway, I'm going. I love you. Bye.